Thank you. My, um, my apologies to those of you who are expecting a mariachi band. That was earlier in the program. All you got is a senator. But it's an honor to be here today, and I just want to tell you 2 or 3 stories, and then I'm done. The first is an interesting story. I had to decide whether to run again for the United States Senate a few years ago, and I thought to myself, I don't need the retirement, I don't need the longevity, I've got to have a purpose. I picked out 3 things I wanted to get done. I wanted to pass the DREAM Act and make it the law of the land. I wanted to have criminal sentencing reform. Still working on both of those. But the third one I said was medical research. I'm going to focus on medical research in my term in the Senate. And what I did was realize first, I'm in the minority. I'm a Democrat. It's a Republican majority. So I need friends on the other side of the aisle. Now, you've all heard the story about Washington doesn't work, and most of the time it doesn't. But I thought maybe, just maybe, on medical research, we can make an exception to this. So I reached out to the other side of the aisle, to a fellow named Roy Blunt, who is a Republican senator from Missouri, to a senator named Lamar Alexander, a Republican senator from Tennessee, and from my colleague, a Democrat from the state of Washington, Patty Murray. And I said to him, I want to tell you something. I just went out to see Dr. Collins, who was recently on the screen here, the head of the NIH. And I asked him, what can we do in medical research that makes a difference? I can't double it. I wish I could double it every year, but I can't do that. What can I do? He says, provide through Congress at least 5% real growth every year. 5% real growth. That way, he said, the researchers won't get discouraged with the ups and downs of federal financing. We can have some continuity in our research and researchers staying on the job doing what they love to do. So I set out to do it. You know what? We're in the 3rd year of achieving that. We had 2 straight years of 5% real growth with this little team that I mentioned earlier in the Senate. This year, it's 8% real growth. And what it means is that projects like this, all of us, is a project which we put in 21st century cures. We put names on all kinds of things. But what it basically meant was more money to get this job done. Dr. Koroshetz was telling me earlier about something I wasn't aware of. We don't collect enough data in this country. We don't know enough about ourselves. And so when we face an issue like autism, is that a serious issue? You bet it is. Do you know where we went to get the baseline data on how to deal with autism? We went to Norway, because Norway collects the information on their population, and we don't. But we're going to start with this project. Collecting that information, it makes a difference. The second thing I want to tell you is, those of you who are residents of Chicago or know this city well, know that if you walk a few blocks from here, you can catch the train and get on the Blue Line and head out the Eisenhower toward the west side of the city. You should know as well that if you take 3 stops on that Blue Line as you're heading west, you will see a disparity in life expectancy of 19 years. 3 stops, 19 years. A greater disparity than there is between the United States and Haiti in 3 stops on that Blue Line. What in the world is going on here? Why in this great city in the 21st century is there such disparity in terms of how long people live? And while we're on the subject, how do we explain that the United States of America is one of 13 countries in the whole world that has seen an increase in maternal death? An increase in maternal death. What is going on here in the last 25 years that makes this more dangerous to have a baby in America than it was 25 years ago? And why in this great nation that is supposed to be colorblind are African American mothers 3 or 4 times more likely to have an experience, bad experiences with their deliveries of a baby? Why? We can answer those questions if we care. We can answer those questions if we have the information. We can answer them if you ask the people who represent you in Congress and other places, are you part of the solution or are you part of the problem? I'm glad to be part of the solution today. Let's get a lot of problems solved. Thank you.